make sure we do that every now and then. There we go. It bothers me there's no save slots. I always want save slots. Let's see, so setup's kind of pointless, right? Because nobody can... Since you didn't level up, I assume that means that we can't buy anything, right? The wrong screen. Yeah. We have 0 gift XP, so we can't really go anywhere from here. Then let's get back out there. Just reminding myself, oh, the rewards actually don't show up here. I should actually double check real quick. I don't remember what the rewards were, and some of them might be items I'd want to equip. Sendai, mysterious katana, sent to George's house. Oh, these are all equipped already. These are the weapons people are currently using. So this guy actually has a special... George has a special story katana. His katana has memories and he knows of it specifically. Huh. So some people have specific weapons they have an attachment to. Other people just kind of have random things. Particularly here, 7 people just have military, like standard issue weapons that other people in the party have. Although I think the shotgun's also standard. Yeah. It's just nobody else is using it. Got barrier tech. Everyone has it equipped, so it's not necessary to look at it. Okay, this is what we got. We got a health capsule. So we have 5 healing items, 1 revive item, 1 bonus strength buff, and 1 poison cure. So that's what our rewards were. How do I spend energy, I wonder? I imagine it's used in like upgrading or something. Maybe we need to go to equipment for that? Don't have anything to put in these app spots, and everyone has barrier tech. Alright, so it's not time for inventory management yet, it would appear. Then let's go to this suspicions mission. So this time around, the whole group's gonna be packed together. I can move Sho around the party, but I can't remove him from the party. Let's put him in slot 5, so he's in the middle of the back, and that he's behind the melee characters, potentially. Let's see here. Melee character, front and center. Nagi can go on the left. George can go front right. The Ajito was melee, right? Yeah. Should probably swap them out a little bit. But I also gotta remember which ones actually have ranged attacks. Let's put Yoko in the back. The enemies are 1 Gravis, 2 Elex, 2 Fort. I think Gravis is the ranged one, yeah, because he's blue. So 1 ranged enemy, 2 melee, and then 2 drones, which are also ranged. That they have the cone attack.
Gotta climb to the top floor, huh?
Wish we had more to go on. I mean, anyone know the way to go to reach the top?
Our only option is to search the area. It could be a trap, but we don't have much of a choice.
Now, going off of what the End said to us, we are the only ones who entered the pillar.
Wait a minute. If I recall correctly, we had far more members with us. Just where in the world are they?
They must not have made it inside. Either that or they all died, but I doubt it.
What gives? Why are we the only ones that got in?
Maybe it's the one thing we have in common. Our gifts.
That thought sounds reasonable enough.
They never specified how many, but I heard them say when they put Sealed together, there were others out there with abilities like I had.
It's regrettable that we were put in this situation before we had a proper grasp of our members.
You mean the traitor, huh? If you ask me, I say screw them. They try anything stupid, it'll blow their cover.
Oh, nice one. Quite a clever way to guide suspicion away, Mr. Mafia Man.
What'd you say, you little brat?
Hold it. Look, I understand it's hard not to be suspicious given the circumstances, but it won't do us any good accusing each other. If we lose our heads here, it's going to be even harder to figure out a means to find the enemy. Keep that in mind during the fight. Let's go.
Let's get this show on the road.
I guess right about the melee. Yeah, these three are melee, those three are all ranged. Oh yeah, I was right about that. I'm trying to memorize that stuff a little bit. Ooh, what's that? Curious. Tip, sometimes you find luminous objects on the floor. If you move closer, examine will appear. You can uncover new information. Tips or documents related to the secrets of the pillar. You can view them from the lobby menu as well as any tutorials you have seen.
Let's get this show on the road.
That does take away your movement though, so now I'm stuck, unfortunately. Whoa, that's a neat menu. And not much else to do. Guess I'll just move forward. And attack nothing. Well, unfortunately, if you want to pick up an item from the field, which you presumably want to do because they're, you know, there, you're going to have to lose your turn in the process. It may have been best to actually wait for them to come after me instead, because my characters are not going to get really much of a proper chance to attack.
Are you ready?
There's nothing I can do about that.
Commencing assault.
I can line these guys up behind him. You can't actually enter attack range, right? Oh, so you can fly right over other party members, too. Alright. Middle of the group. If I cover more allies, then she's more likely to be able to cover them. Wait, the right call was actually to use a defer. Alright, well, too late for that. I already made that mistake. All three of the ranged characters should use defer on all three of the melee characters, so then the melee characters could then move forward and attack again.
This is my chance.
Leave it to me.
That would be the smart thing. Or I could not reach them anyway. That makes this really awkward. Well.
Let's go.
Well.
I'm here for you.
Yes!
Hello.
Okay.
Back attack. We'll learn as we go how to better use defer, because that was a bit of a mistake back there. Here come the drones. Yeah, I kind of set you up for that, didn't I? Ah, they're assisting. Wow. Charging ahead that much was a mistake. So formations are going to be really important in this game, because yeah, he's down. Configuring people into proper groups
And away we go.
massively multiplies the attack count per turn, which is kind of a big deal when you're fighting those kinds of dudes. Okay. Let's start with that's a melee attacker, so let's start with a ranged attacker. Fight him. There's the assist. A miss? Really? Ah.
Let's do this.
Now I'm trying to take proper advantage of the team attacks. I'm trying to string together our combos now the way the enemy does.
That was easy, right?
So this means your health can go down really fast because the enemies are equally capable of doing this.
Let's go.
So you want to open with ranged attacks on anyone who's a melee attacker, because they can't fight back with the counter. Then follow up with a melee attack, which then triggers the same. Oh, well, he's down already, but if they survive, it triggers the follow-up counterattack. Interesting. Okay, I want to get close to you, but then defer to you.
Leave it to me.
And then if she's in proper range, I can then attack you and get an assist from you. Yep, that's what I'm going for. Does that work with this too? Yeah.
How'd you like that?
So I used her to defer somebody else to move forward, but then knew that she would still get her attack in because she would attack as a result of the attack that I was deferring. This is actually a neat system.
Too slow.
I'm gonna go ahead and let the American stay down. Cause I need to learn the hard way, essentially, whether or not George will get experience if he's defeated during the fight. Some games do it, some games don't, and it's so inconsistent across the board that I can't really make any guesses about it. I just have to see what happens. I want my gunners to be in range of both attackers at once, because then when I attack one of them, my allies will also help me attack. I don't think I can line this up to do both, really. Is the other guy not in my attack range? Oh, I have to use the D-pad, okay. Ow.
Let's do this.
So we're just gonna stack more and more assists, and then once the melee characters come in, there's gonna be multiple gunners helping them with that too. Yeah, these are gonna become some really long assist chains. Oh, he's down already.
Let's get this show on the road.
Which I believe. Oh, cool. You can actually go through him because he teleports. There's so many assists. So this should really increase my ranking then. Well, it would have if the assists happened. Instead they didn't.
Damn.
Is that all of them? That was brilliant.
Yeah.
As long as we cooperate with one another, it looks like it won't be a problem to defeat the enemy and reach the top. That is, as long as we're not shot in the back by a traitor.
Uh-huh.
At this rate, we'll reach where the end is waiting in no time. Haha. It's only natural that justice always prevails. Judgment shall be passed.
However,
I'm not this confident. We know very little about the traitor.
Seriously?
I'm telling you, this whole traitor thing's a bluff. The end's scared shitless of us is all.
Oh.
I hope you're right. There wasn't anyone who was behaving suspiciously during that fight. Is there really a traitor among us? What?
Damn it.
Is it America, man? No! What was that?
Huh?
Huh? What's wrong?
What?
You're sweating profusely. Do you have a fever? We're leaving you behind if that's the case.
Seriously?
Wait, we're just gonna leave him here?
No.
It won't be a problem. Is that so? Did I just risk it? Oh wow, it is a -5. Okay, so if somebody goes down, it affects your ranking severely, apparently. Okay. That's not good. Although I'm amused that he might be the traitor, judging by that little thing where he was threatening to kill Yoko. Deaths -5. Yeah, the assists stack up like crazy. I've been building them up a lot. Deferrals. Oh. So the deferrals they did also give points. So it's using kills, assists, and deferrals give you the points. Interesting. Come to think of it, the kills are probably worth multiple points, right? Because there's only so many enemies to kill to begin with. Alright. Okay, so you still get experience even if you go down during a fight. Now we know that. And now the entire party's leveled up with just really minor variances. I'm hearing them again.
Is this a joke?
Teamwork is a thing of wonder.
Huh? Someone's voice sounded odd. What was that?
Huh?
I think this is the hint system of some kind. Hey, Sho, it looks like this machine's operational.
Huh?
What the hell's going on? This piece of junk wasn't working a minute ago.
What is it?
Don't let your guard down, everyone. This thing might be dangerous. And yet, I suspect it's not going to make an attack on us. Strange. I don't think this thing runs on electricity. Well, then again, after what we've seen so far, maybe that's not so surprising.
Oh.
Ooh, we shouldn't all get close at once. It might be safer if one person checks it out.
How the...
Say what? What's the meaning of this? Why is everyone staring at me like that? Your gift is psychometry, right, George? Now, hold your horses. I've tried using it several times since we got here, and it's not working.
What?
Not working?
Yes.
I've tried to read the tower's thoughts with my ability, but there are areas I can, and there are areas I can't. The ones I can't read, it's like it's too large. Or rather, it's different from reading a single person's thoughts. It's like reading the entire history of humanity.
Whoa.
Whoa, hold up, guys and gals. Check this out. The energy chips these guys have been dropping, they're glowing. Are they resonating with the machine? Stars and stones. We should examine those things instead. Safety first. I kind of want to go back and rewatch that scene that played, because I can do that. There's the generator. Tips. Lore. Sealed directive. You can reread tutorials, you can go through character things. Where's the other stuff though? Config. Was it in setup? Right, we can level up our characters now. But where was the part where you read the documents I found? Because I found a document. Maybe that's just lore? The sealed directive. Pillar infiltration mission. Objective: infiltration of the pillar that appeared on that date, apparently. Of the sealed units currently on guard against international terrorist attacks, all units assigned operatives with designated gift class abilities are hereby deployed to the pillar to enter immediately upon arrival. Though the special operatives are intended as our primary weapon against the End, many of them lack in practical military experience. Other operatives must support them with all available resources and are required to prioritize the survival of these special members in moments of crisis. Let's see. Yeah, some people are useful in this situation, but they need to be supported by people that are more military trained. I'm wondering if when we came in here, what if there was a bunch of squads, and every squad had one person with a gift, and everyone else was just soldiers, but then they all got wiped out, or was denied access somehow, or somehow purged, and all that's left is the one... It might be that all that's left is the one gifted person from each squad or something like that, and everyone else is gone. No information available at this time of the internal and structure of the pillar. Given the time constraints, all units should prepare for combat immediately upon arrival and enter the site as soon as possible. Units arriving first are ordered to infiltrate the pillar as planned, and scout the immediate vicinity to secure the area and perform reconnaissance for the benefit of incoming reinforcements. GSN, Terrorist Fire at Military Essential Facility. The GSN is the... It says GSN headline, so that must be the news network. GS News. Terrorist attacks continue. The world in crisis. Before dawn on date A series of explosions struck a key military facility in Washington, D.C. The self-proclaimed mastermind behind the attack was a terrorist who calls himself The End. A few hours before the bombs detonated within a central building on the facility grounds, the extremist addressed the world's population in a speech broadcast across international channels. The speech suggested elements of narcissistic personality disorder, hinted at immediate action based on myopic motives. Upon confirmation of The End as a threat, however, world leaders unanimously agreed to classify the terrorist as an international fugitive, charged with attack on a federal facility. The bombing took place soon after his address to the world's nations. Throughout his manifesto, the terrorist made repeated reference to something called the Pillar. Officials are moving ahead under the assumption that the term is a codename for his plan. Investigators have suggested that the word was used in reference to the location involved in the case. However, the building in question was roughly 24 meters in height, comparatively small, causing some to doubt its relevance to the End's Pillar. As investigation continues, the military is putting into action a defensive plan involving likely bombing targets based on the End's broadcast, including skyscrapers and other buildings of notable height. James Hilton, the world's leading expert in criminal psychology, was reached by a GSN correspondent for comment. At the interview, he expressed that the term pillar may be more chosen for its metaphorical significance rather than relating to the literal physical height, and there is a possibility the End is hinting at intended attacks on specific government facilities chosen as symbols of political and financial power. Hilton also noted that targets are often switched at the last moment by extremists under duress due to failed terror operations or unexpected complications. The grid of scrolling squares is surprisingly distracting when you're trying to read. Is a terrorist fire at skyscraper. Before the dawn on date, a series of explosions struck a skyscraper in upstate New York. The self-proclaimed mastermind behind the attack was a terrorist who calls himself The End. A few hours after the bombs detonated within the upper floors of the Metropolitan Building, the extremist addressed the world's population in a speech broadcast across international channels. The speech suggested elements of narcissistic personality disorder. It's repeating mostly, isn't it? And hinted at imminent action based on myopic motives. Upon confirmation of The End as a threat, however, world leaders unanimously agreed to classify the terrorist as an international fugitive. The bombing took place soon after his address to the world's nations. Throughout his manifesto, the terrorist made repeated reference to something called the Pillar. Officials are moving ahead under the assumption that this term is a codename for his plan. Investigators have suggested that the word was used in reference to the location involved in the case. Criminal analysts suggest that the clear egotism of the perpetrator may indicate some symbolism in the attacks. If the bombing of the skyscraper is intended as a parallel to the biblical destruction of the Tower of Babel, this would indicate that the End intends to assume the role of God in this analog. Regardless of whether he then intends to remake the world in his image, with the announced launch of the nuclear warheads a mere 13 days away, it is clear he possesses the means to destroy it. James Hilton, the leading expert in criminal psychology, was reached by GSN correspondent for comment. In his interview, expressed that it may be dangerous to leap to conclusions, as The End did not make any such megalomaniacal declarations during his speech. After reviewing the transcript of his demands, Hilton concluded that the Pillar codename may simply be a reference to the further targeting of skyscrapers. So it's just outsider responses to this lead enemy we're dealing with. We need to find out who the baddie is. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna look at the roster of characters, and I'm gonna write down everyone's name except the protagonist. Give myself a nice reference list so I can try to make notes about each of them if something problematic seems to come up. Okay, I have gone and made documentation. I have written down everyone's names twice. Once on a grid so that I can be try to gain evidence chapter by chapter about who might be the traitor that time. And then I also made a list version so that I can write down specific notes Like how George seemed to have his knife at Yoko's throat. I think that's what that scene was. I didn't go back and recheck that, but I think that's what happened. I rechecked both of the scenes where there's a weird montage of people floating around and voices. I'm not sure how to interpret them yet, though. So far, the people that have shown up in those scenes are Mana, Nagi, Marco, Yoko, Ajito, and George. Maeda, Sohiro, Toya, and Himeno have not shown up in either of those scenes so far. Both times that a garbled voice played, it was when Mana was on screen. But I'm not entirely sure if that's what it is, because it's playing everyone's voices, and their voices are sometimes in sync with them being on screen, and sometimes not in sync with them being on screen. Like in particular, in one of them, I think George is the first person on screen, but the last voice you hear. I'm trying to recognize the voices. What stands out to me is I don't think I've heard Ajito speak during those scenes, even though he shows up in both of them. So I'm kind of wondering if he's the garbled voice, because I kind of think one of the voices might be Mana. But I'm not really sure, honestly. So that's my gathered information so far. And I'll try to check that up and update it as we go. And also, I don't know if, like, does being in the trailer does being in those videos make you automatically safe or something? Like, should I be suspecting Himeno, Toya, Sohiro, and Maeda, for example? Or are those people safe because they're not in them so far? And I don't know. I think the garbled voice is supposed to be the traitor. Maybe. It's hard to say. Anyway, people leveled up, so that's horrifying. Or maybe not. Wait. Level 3. I have 1 experience. I don't think I can buy these. I think I have to level to... Okay, now I get it. So you can level up each skill multiple times, or at least some of them or something. In this case, I'm getting more and more dex and agility each time I level up sight. And that results in, when I hit level 2 sight, I can learn lock on, or if I learn level 3 sight, I can learn fortune. Or both, or whatever. And then that branches down this tree. So that's gonna make this very easy then, actually. Basically, everyone needs to just... It's Flame Master, what does this require? Whoa, wait, you can learn that? I didn't have an option like that, did I? Okay, never mind. I was thinking maybe everybody just has a passive thing to learn real quick, so this is gonna be a very quick process, but no. Himeno cannot learn Burn, which is a fire attack, or Flame Master, increases the effect of all pyrokinesis type skills. That seems like I'd want to buy that. So let's maybe get that. That can have 10 ranks, apparently. So now you have Flame Mastery. Level 2 Flame Mastery, I can learn Hellfire Miracle or Ignition. Level 3 would get me Frost Mastery. She has Frost skills? How complicated does she get? Pyrokinesis, Deep Freeze, and Combustion. Interesting. So these reduce the cost of these skills. So she has a fire tree, an ice tree, paradoxically, and a combustion tree. So she must just control thermal energy, so she can make something hot or cold or explode it. Interesting. These are big trees, by the way. You have it too. I'm gonna default to getting the special skill that lets you learn how to make your thing better first, for anyone who has access to it. Fortify. It raises strength and vitality versus this is your melee attack. Interesting. These are very divided from each other, but it looks like you need Earth Crash. If you want Earth Crash, you have to kind of go down both. So she can restore her own hit points. That's interesting. Fatal damage will leave you with 1 hit point remaining. Activation chance will be lower next time. That's interesting. So she can survive an incoming attack. So this is her superhuman part of her tree. Is this stuff down here, where this stuff up here is overdrive? And I guess down here the green stuff is hyperdrive. Interesting. There's a whole system to this that needs to be figured out over time. I'm gonna give her the strength and vit health stat upgrade. Levitation. Okay. She starts off with levitation, which just is Oh yeah, it ignores terrain height, so she can just move around freely. But that's a single toggle skill, so she just has it now, and now it's time to go down the tree. Assassin's Blade, long distance melee attack. Extra movement, just make her just get around like crazy. That could be good. And dive, melee attack that cannot be countered. That sounds useful. A skill that can't be countered means that she has a way to attack without getting attacked back, which means that I could use her as the opening attack, and then other people can follow up to trigger her assists. That sounds like it'd be nice to have. Here's our healer. He just starts off with heal. Restores an ally's hit points. If I level it up, I can gain overheal or self-regenerate and interjection. Then here is Strike of Samael. Psychic attack with a chance to instantly kill a target. Ooh. Also gives him an attack option. Or I could just keep going down, further down heal. I might go further down heal just for him, because that's kind of his point as a character. Now, let's give him a attack option. Otherwise, he kind of has nothing. And then we can start going down the tree for healing after that. So this is Link. So you share recovery effects, and you both assist despite friend status. And I think you get their... You might even get the ability to use a skill. Charged Link. Raises your stats higher than those of your linked ally. Pain Sink. Inflict damage proportional to lost hit points. Huh. Let's really buff up the Link skill, I think. So let's do the raised stats higher thing. I'll crush you. That's alright. Oh, he has like shouty skills. So he has to go away, right? There's nothing down here. Alright. So psychic-based attacks that cannot miss. Gonna go one more level into that. Now he has access to Focus Mastery next time to go higher up in telekinetic skills, or learn new things later on if he wants to. The next incoming attack will be reduced to 0. Interesting. A damage negator. Alright, Strength, Psychic, and Vitality. This is for Yoko. Is there a tree down here? Nope. I can go into Awareness right now. Ooh. Increased Vitality and Agility of all allies near target. Oh, it's a buff, so it has to be used. Like how Inspiration has to be used. Demotivation debuffs the target. Increases critical range and damage on assist attacks. Ooh. I want to go down the friendly tree, so let's go down here. I'll need level 2 awareness for sympathy. Here we have Jito, who starts off with teleport. His movement also ignores stuff, just like the levitation character. Oh, it ignores... Right, the other character has one that says it ignores terrain height. This one ignores units and terrain. That could mean different things, because if terrain causes damage, then just floating over it won't work unless you're floating over that damage itself. Like, if it has damage that goes up into the area or something like that, like... You could probably float over spikes, for example, with the floating character, but other things might still be causing damage. But this character can full-on teleport, which means that, kind of just a flat upgrade over that movement style, though she might have better advantages on other parts of her character. Transplant. Teleports a section of the target, causing a fixed amount... Jesus. That's horrifying. Just rip a piece of your enemies out. Or dimension. Increases the attack range with certain gift skills. Then you can eventually get Blink, teleports to dodge an attack. Stealth Step. Teleport behind target for melee attack. Teleports an item for use on a faraway target. The Friend Portal, don't have that one unless Yoko dies. Vital Edge teleports the attack inside the target for randomized damage. Attack that has a chance to seal. Interesting. I kind of want the dodging move and the stealth step, so let's go down Far Strider. And here we have Mind's Eye. He's got the attack that gives you one analysis. Let's see, Armor Crush. Melee attack with a chance to lower enemies' VIT. Higher VIT loss with more analyses. So these kind of have a synergy going on. Bonus damage versus mech enemies as a passive. And bonus and increased effectiveness of items. Bonus mech damage sounds like a specialization that I could benefit from, so let's go further down Mind's Eye. The next level I can learn Analyze Machine. That seems useful. That's a lot of characters to level up at once. Holy crap.